Hey everyone, it's Tyler Stroik at Universal Rackets, and in this video we're going to be taking your forehand from a beginner, intermediate forehand, you've been working on your forehand forever, to an advanced forehand in less than 15 or 10 minutes. We'll see what happens, so stay tuned. So the first thing, if your forehand is beginner or intermediate, you're probably thinking about one racket path. All you're thinking is back and swing. Once again, back and swing, maybe not 1-2. It's very two-dimensional. A lot of beginner and intermediate players have a two-dimensional forehand. And what do I mean? Take the racket back and follow through. Take the racket back and follow through. Yes, that is what I hear every single tennis coach say. Why? Because if you teach a client how to take the racket back and follow through, they're going to ensure that they hit the ball over the net, and then they're going to come back and pay you every single time. Now, the more difficult forehand is really hard to instruct, but once players get to a certain level, you're going to need this, is what? Instead of back and follow through, you're going to think about take the racket back up, drop, and then follow through. So instead of being it just two-dimensional, you're going to be three-dimensional. There's going to be 3 steps to your forehand. So instead of just going like this and like this, you're going to go like this, you're going to go like this, and then you're going to go like this. Once again, instead of going like this, I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. Now, that seems a little bit difficult, right? There are 3 steps to the forehand instead of 2, but it's pretty easy if you think about it, if I explain it conceptually. When you hit the forehand, you want to make sure that you take the racket back, right? To get leverage, to get momentum. Then, after you take the racket back, now what do we have to do? In order to get the ball over the net, what do we have to do? We have to make sure that we hit up on the ball. So after you take the racket back, then what do you have to do? You need to drop the racket. Now, since my racket is dropped, now what can I do when I swing? Now I'm going to be able to get under and lift the ball. So you take the racket back for momentum, you drop the racket to get under the ball, and then you follow through to hit it forward. Another way to think of it is watch. You're going to take the racket on top, you're going to drop, and follow through. Once again, you're going to go top, drop, follow through. Top, drop, follow through. Top, drop, kids bop, or whatever, okay? So if you can think back, drop, follow through, top, drop, follow through, or 1, 2, 3 instead of 1, 2, then you will be able to get that more advanced forehand, okay? Now, the next thing that you have to do is you have to make sure that you follow through every single time. There's a lot of really good players, but they can never really hit through the ball. They can never really be totally consistent because of one big thing, because they don't follow through. Now, I say this in almost every single video. In tennis, to gain control, you have to give up control. The more you let the racket work for you and the less you work for the racket, the better you will be. If you want to get that consistency, you have to follow through every single time, like 1, 2, and 3, okay? So just watch me. So here's what we have to do every single time, guys. We have to make sure that when you hit this forehand, you follow through over your shoulder. Unless you want to be Rafa. If you want to be Rafa, then you can follow through over the same arm. But you want to make sure that you follow through every single time you hit. So make sure you're following through when you hit so you can allow the racket to do its work. Now, after you get this 3-step forehand, after you follow through, now we have to make sure that we have the proper unit turn and take back, okay? A lot of players, they have amazing forehands, but the one reason why they can't take their forehand to that advanced level is because they don't make contact at the proper time. Once again, you have the form of frickin' Roger Federer, but you still can't make proper contact. Why? It's because you don't turn at the proper time. If you ever feel like you're eating the balls for dinner, it's because you're not turning the proper time, right? So before the ball even crosses the net, I want to turn. Again, as soon as the ball crosses the net for my forehand, I'm going to take my racket back. Where a lot of players go wrong and they feel like they're eating the ball is because they wait for the ball to cross the net to get to them, and then they take their racket back. Think, the ball's coming, I wait to take it back, right? And now boom, super close. Think of it this way. I see the ball, I recognize it's forehand before it crosses the net. My racket's already back, the ball's coming, and now I can get it out in front. Instead of meeting it close to me, I'm meeting it up in front, okay? So what are you going to do? We're going to make it a 3-step, 3-dimensional forehand instead of 2-dimensional. We're going to go top, drop, follow through. We're going to make sure that we follow through every single time, and now we're taking the racket back earlier so we can get proper contact. Now, another big reason why a lot of players can't hit an advanced forehand is because they don't use their non-dominant hand properly. God gave us two hands for a reason, so let's use them, okay? The forehand is a one-handed shot, but you want to make sure that you utilize your non-dominant hand. So a lot of players, what they do is either A, they don't involve it at all, or B, they use it to pull away from their body and they hit. You want to make sure your non-dominant hand goes with your forehand with you the whole time. I like you to think, pretend you got handcuffs on your racket, okay, or on your wrists. If I move this hand, where does this hand go? It goes with it, right? If I move this arm goes with it. You want to make sure that your hands always go together when you hit. So great drill to ensure that you're using the proper non-dominant hand, you're using your non-dominant hand properly, is all you're going to do is instead of holding your racket like this, you're going to turn it horizontally and you're going to hold the racket like this. And now what you're going to do, you're going to think that you're Roger Federer, you're going to think that you're Carlos Alcaraz, you're going to think like you're Naomi Osaka, and you're going to go and you're just going to swing some balls. Again, I'm just going to swing, split, hit, swing. Split, hit, swing. I really feel like I'm Carlos Alcaraz right now, to be honest. Boom, okay? Why am I doing that? Why am I holding the racket like this? You can even get a ball and just do it. Here we are, let's go. Never mind, all right? Why are we doing that? Because this is teaching myself how to utilize my non-dominant hand. Now when I swing, watch, just like I held it, look, now my hand is going with my racket like I have handcuffs, right? So wherever my right arm goes, I want my left arm to follow. So if I bring my right arm over here, look at my left arm, it's going with it. If I bring my right arm over here, look at my left arm, it's going with it. Now, the next thing, some players, they might be beginner intermediate, they might not have that advanced forehand because they're not utilizing their non-dominant hand properly. And what I mean by that is they're utilizing it, but watch, they're going like this. They're going like this. So when they swing, watch what happens. They swing, well, that was a good shot, but what are they doing? They're coming around the ball. Now, why was that a good shot? And why do players have some good shots? You'll see players that hit forehands and they'll rip their forehands like for 50% of the time, and then they won't rip them for like other 50%. Like literally, like one for every two forehands, they'll look like Roger Federer, and then the other one, they'll look like they've never played tennis in their lives. Why did I make that forehand, guys? Because the ball was above or around my chest. So if I ever have a ball super high and I come around the ball, if my swing path is coming around the ball, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna rip it every single time. And when I hit it, it's gonna be pretty good. But if I come around the ball every single time and that ball is lower, right? If I come around the ball and the ball's high, watch, right? I'm gonna rip it, boom, look, I look like Roger Federer, easy. Wimbledon, sign me up. But if that ball's low and I come around the ball, look where it's gonna be. It's gonna look like I've never played tennis in my life. So a lot of players who come around the ball, they can't get to an advanced forehand because their swing path only works for when it's high balls, because they drop their non-dominant hand. So by utilizing your non-dominant hand, make sure it doesn't drop because you'll come around. Always make sure that your non-dominant hand goes up when you hit. A great way, 2 Minute Tennis, I'll put his link in the description. He is the only coach I watch on YouTube. He said, pretend your hand is above water. He had this video of Novak Djokovic, and Novak Djokovic was hitting, and he was hitting, and he was hitting, and his non-dominant hand, he drew water at his waist of Djokovic. He drew like water, didn't look that good. He's not a great artist, but he's a great tennis coach. When he was swinging, and his hand was above water at all times. You want your non-dominant hand to go up, keep it out of the water, and then drop it and come around. Now, if you really, really struggle, with your non-dominant hand, no matter what you do, you cannot come around the ball, you cannot stop your non-dominant hand from going down, then this is a great exercise for you to do. You don't have to do it again, but unless you struggle with your non-dominant hand, you're going to do it, okay? All you're going to do is once you're done, you're going to catch the racket with your opposite hand over your shoulder. Again, if I struggle with my non-dominant hand going up, I'm going to swing and I'm going to catch my racket with my non-dominant hand. Notice by doing the catch follow through, it's going to ensure that my non-dominant hand goes up every single time I hit. So again, if you can make your forehand three-dimensional instead of two-dimensional if you can think top, drop, hit, if you can follow through, if you can hold the racket loose, and if you can make sure that your non-dominant hand is not only involved but it goes up, you will be able to bring your forehand from a beginner, intermediate to more an advanced forehand. Now, if you want more tips, more tricks, learn how to hit more topspin, more slice, how to hit a beginner forehand, how to hit an intermediate forehand, different drills, different tricks, make sure you click the link in my description for the Instantly Improve My Forehand ebook. Before writing it, I was thinking all about the names I could have. The Roger Federer Forehand ebook, the Simple Forehand ebook, all this. I was like, no, you know what it's going to be called? It's going to be called the Instantly Improve My Forehand ebook. Why? Because the tips are instant. You can read it. It's an interactive ebook, which means we don't just have text. We have examples, we have drills, we have videos, we have quick videos, and you can put it down. You can go out on court in your next USTA or whatever league you play, and you can instantly see these forehand tips. I'm telling you, it's the best amount of money that you'll ever spend. It's less than a private lesson, but it'll do so much better than 20 private lessons you've ever had. Make sure to click the link in the description. I also have it for the serve as well. Make sure to follow me on Instagram in the description, Tennis with Tyler, and I'll see you guys next time on court. I hope this helps. Again, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comments below. If you guys don't like this video, if you think I shouldn't even do these videos, please let me know. YouTube recognizes engagement. Have a good one, guys. Happy hitting, and I'll see you next time.